Aries, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early August 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for Aries gang, the Rams, in early August? It is Leo season at the time of this filming, but let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a little peek at. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. So let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries gang in early August. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. We're going to have some fun today, my friends, as usual. Hey, we got our good friend here, Mr. Bookhead. And he's been showing up quite a bit in other readings lately. It's funny because there's always a drought. It's like I don't see this card for months and months and months. And then it pops up. This is big Page of Pentacles vibe. And obviously, I just love the costume that he's wearing too. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end. So you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo. Back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this individual. So as you can see, we have this younger person. They seem to be wearing books all over the place. That's why I call him Bookhead. And it is my goal to one day make a Halloween costume that mimics this person. Books for a necklace, books for a hat. We got scrolls and books all over the place. Big Page of Pentacles vibe. Now, this is great for processing information, but just know for a lot of us Aries, we could have a very thirsty mind where it's like, I'm looking for this information. I'm trying to figure this out. This is great for learning new things, new endeavors, but there is like this driving force about acquiring knowledge. So whether it's a curiosity within you, a curiosity within someone else, that could be the case. Big thing with pages, they're also communicators, right? The written word. So there could be something showing up in this week's reading that ties into communication. Normally this is great though. It also represents open doors. So I like Mr. Bookhead, and that costume always puts a big smile on my face. The only downside to this card is there can be an unsure nature to it. And again, as an Aries myself, I get it. Normally we're confident, but sometimes there are situations where we might second guess or hesitate. So just watch out for that in this time. We're going to let him chill right there. It looks like he has a lot of studying that he wants to do. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aries gang. Early August. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's go. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled Big Action Incoming. And again, as an Aries myself, I get it. We are action oriented usually, where it's like, I need to see results. I need to move this thing forward. So motivation could really be something important last week and even moving into this week. So whether it's actions that you want to take, actions you did take, maybe someone else was making some moves, all of it can be in play and all of it could bleed over for a couple weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for Aries gang. What do we have in early August? Okay. Cool. Yeah, Queen of Wands, fiery. That's right up our alley, my good friends. Love the Queen of Wands energy for an Aries reading, specifically in position number 1. It's like we're starting off on the right foot. So I like that. Let's get a couple more. What do we got for Aries gang? Okay, the communication showing up here. We got the Ace of Pentacles. All right, let's get one more here. Let's get one more, then we'll start playing this out. See what happens. All right, cool. Interesting play of energy here, because these 2 cards came out together. The first one out was the Devil. Don't get nervous about that. That's actually really good for earthly matters, and we'll get into that much more in depth. And then the Star is your bonus. So it's like these energies somewhat cancel each other out. So that could be a little intuitive message. There might be things or situations that pop up that like even the scales or cancel each other out. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like it frames the reading and gives us a nice foundation. Now in the main part, we have a lot of earth and a little bit of fire. And that could cause a little bit of friction. One thing that both of these elements do share in common is that they represent external sources of energy. Got a little bit of air here in the bonus, but the main part is this earthy, fiery vibe. Now, right here with the fire, as we were seeing last week, that's the realm of action. So whether the actions you take or other people take, the whole 9 yards, it's usually very high vibrational and it's amped up, it's ready to go. It's all about energy levels. So whether you're feeling high or low, whether you're feeling super motivated or not so motivated, all of that can be in play. It could also represent health and well-being. The only downside to fire is, I mean, it's good because it's moving things forward, but the downside to it is that it can absolutely be unpredictable, right? Sometimes fire is hard to contain, so there's an explosive quality to it. Now, we do have the earth, and these energies do cause a lot of friction together because earth is very slow and steady. When I look at earth, I think of results. I think of routine. I think of day to day life, whereas fire is much more free flowing and let's make it happen. Earth is cautious and steady. It could represent ritual and routine. Think of money, work, home, family, all the material aspects of life are covered with this, and it's a very slow mover. So when we get to the downside of the earth energy, it could just represent like a stuck feeling or an energy that's not moving as fast as we'd like it to. So it's like we have this energy pushing, this energy standing put. We need to see what the friction's about. Then here on the back end, we do have a little bit of air that works very well with Aries as well. That's more about like the logical mind. It's very pragmatic. It's about the information, big when it comes to communication. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the bang. We have the beautiful Queen of Wands. Now, Aries, this could be you showing up here, right? It is an Aries power card and it doesn't have to be gender specific, right? Queens to me in tarot represent the internal aspect of the suit. So I was just speaking about it, right? Amped up. Let's go. Let's do this. She is bold and confident. So one thing that I always think of with the Queen of Wands, it represents how we treat ourselves and how we think of ourselves, not necessarily what other people think, what we think. Self-love, self-care, that's huge when it comes to this card. She's beautiful and it could represent a certain magnetism. So for a lot of Aries, hopefully you're feeling good. Hopefully this is a nice high vibrational vibe. The downside to the Queen of Wands, it's an energy that can be very, very hard on itself. So watch out for beating yourself up and self-deprecation, stuff like that. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but it's worth looking into. And obviously with the Queen of Wands, it could have that explosive quality. So whether it's a communication, a conversation, a situation, we're just going to have to see what's up. Now, moving to the middle, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and this is good because it has a similar vibe to Bookhead like we had in the beginning. All aces to me represent offers, opportunities, and open doors. Beautiful stuff. Big when it comes to communication, so back and forths, messages, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, when I see the Queen of Wands with the Page of Pentacles, it's like, I'm going to say this, I need to say that. So it's like an announcement somewhat. That's kind of a little intuitive vibe I'm picking up here. It's like, I'm going to shout it from the rooftops. Cool. Nothing wrong with that. I love aces for the open door aspect. So again, whether it's a conversation or something that falls in your lap, this to me is a golden opportunity, the Ace of Pentacles, specifically in the work, money, business area. So there could be new ventures, new things. If you're looking for new career paths and work and side hustles, whatever, this is really great for that. But what's the downside with the Ace of Pentacles? If we're not talking about the offers, opportunities, or conversations, aces represent potential energy. They're very fresh, they're very new. So when I see it, it's like, okay, yeah, no, this is looking good. This could go a lot of good ways, but the downside is that it's a limited time where it's like, if you don't act, this energy can go away. So we need to see. It could be a little flip floppy. Now, here on the back end, we have the devil. Big Capricorn vibes. If you're connected to Capricorn or have Capricorn placements, that could just be it. And they get this card due to the goat symbolism. But the devil does get a bad reputation for good reason. But I'm going to give you some of the positives first, since it is a very earthy, predictable type of energy. When I see this, it is great for money, work, business, finance, or anything of the material world. So this could be great, right? Because when you look at the deeper esoteric symbolism of the devil, it represents material reality that we live in. So it could be good, especially if you're in money, 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 pentacle mode. But when we get to the challenges, the devil is a planted energy. It's like, this isn't new. This is an energy that seems to stick around. So whether it's a situation, a problem, a person, whatever it is, it's like, okay, I've been dealing with this for a while and it's kind of hanging around. It can represent anger, anxiety. It can represent possessiveness and jealousy. So there's like a whole list of warnings that this card can represent. I'm not going to hyperfixate on it, but we have our eye on it. I think that's important. But I think you could see why I have the friction, right? Because this energy can sometimes feel a little stuck or is very stubborn. So we really want to look into it. Then for the bonus, we have the star, which again, I said it kind of canceled each other out when they both came out together. The star to me is a light at the end of the tunnel, it represents hope. It's a big card of wish fulfillment, hope in a brighter day. Usually this represents long term chunks of time. So it's like not today, not tomorrow, a little bit down the road. This card could represent things paying off. So I love it for its hopeful nature. And I do have this vibe where it's like this kind of solves itself, or this energy kind of cancels each other out. I don't know what that could possibly be. The only downside with the stars, it could sometimes represent depression, not seeing that light at the end of the tunnel. So again, there's something here about taking care of oneself, self love, self care. That is an undertone this week. But let's go through. I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Aries gang. What do we got? And yeah, this is where I go intuitive, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that queen? Let's see. Her message could be very simple. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, what do we got with this beautiful Queen of Wands? What do we got? Okay. Okay. Six of Cups. Now, sometimes this energy can represent partnerships. When we see the Six of Cups, soul ties, soul connections, people that are very near and dear to our heart. This combination is very much warm and fuzzy. Now, for some Aries, you might be a little more sentimental than you normally are. Like the remember when, taking a trip down memory lane. The Six of Cups, aside from partnerships and soul ties and conversation, so notice we have a lot of chit chat, we have a lot of chatter around this Queen of Wands. So there might still be something about communications, talks, and messages. But the Six of Cups, if we take that and the partnership aspect away, it does represent the past. It is like a softer, more sentimental type of vibe and can sometimes represent things popping back up. So I'm not going to say just yet, like, oh, this is an unfinished situation or unfinished business. Not even going to say it's something that's potentially popping back up. The energy just feels softer, like much softer. So there is a softening about something. So again, for some areas, you might just be a little softer around the edges. Could be simple, right? It doesn't always have to be a big grandiose thing. But then we do still have this link to the past and the sentimentality and things potentially popping back up. So we're going to have to see how it plays out, because there's also this conversational type of vibe too, whether it's something you want to address or somebody else. But I like it. I think it's pretty good. We're going to keep going, because I really want to see what's up with the devil. Because the Six of Cups and the devil combination, these are energies that can linger for a while. But what's going on the Ace of Pentacles? Let's see what that has. Get this devil tucked in. All right, why is that Ace of Pentacles here for Aries gang? What do we got? Super quick. Okay. Yeah, this does feel like an important talk or conversation of some sort. So we do have the King of Cups in reverse underneath this Ace of Pentacles. Now, that could be water sign energy. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Kings show up different than the queens, whereas queens represent the internal aspect of the suit, kings represent control of it. So when I see the King of Cups, which rules over emotions and feelings, him in reverse underneath this Ace of Pentacles, it's like there's something important I need to discuss. There's something important or serious I need to get off my chest. So I think it's super important in this time not to suppress. Now, again, as an Aries myself, I get it. We're not known for biting our tongue. But for some Aries, you might be doing that, even though you don't normally do it, where it's like, I don't know, I don't want to say anything. There's like a little reserve or reservation type of energy around communicating or talking for some reason. So take that for what it's worth. If you usually don't have a filter when you're speaking, this energy is like, maybe I won't. But I do think that there could be a conversation or talk of importance or seriousness when this card shows up in reverse. Because it's like there is a big feeling that I'm feeling, and I want to let this feeling out, right, underneath this Ace of Pentacles. So I think that's good. But I'm also getting this like chit chat, a lot of chit chat, like the remember wins, and then this new energy comes in as well. So like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of talking. Let's keep going. Again, this doesn't have to be your energy. Maybe someone wants to grab your ear. That's very possible, especially with like all this surrounding the queen. It's like this one wants your attention, that wants your attention, this is coming in. So watch out for rapidly manifesting things too. Like even if you're not really trying to, let's see what's up with the devil. Because I want to see, yeah, these energies, I said they potentially cancel out. But I want to see what's happening with that devil. Is it a situation? Is it something different? And we'll do our recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the devil here in early August? Another ace. Another ace. This could be really great for career. So I know people watch for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes people watch for, personal relationships. We do have a little bit of everything showing up this week too, which I do like. But remember, aces offers opportunities, a lot of conversating, a lot of talking. So I'm not sure if someone's trying to get your attention, if you're trying to get someone else's attention. Like there is this, like, hey, look at me, Aries. It's like one of those that I'm picking up here. Now, the Ace of Cups is great. It's more about the emotional outpourings, too. So remember, I was saying there's like this potential for biting the tongue or suppressing. Now, this could be somebody else, too, where it's like maybe they want to say something to you, maybe they want to speak to you. There's like this reservation around saying something or addressing something. So, like, the conversation is all over the place. But when it comes to the work, money, business, finance, if you're looking for something new, if you're looking for another stream of income or whatever it might be, if you're looking for a promotion, all these aces and all this chit chat energy tells me that doors are opening. So this could be an offer opportunity as well. So I like where the energy goes. We do just have to watch out for the suppression and biting of one's tongue. So if there's a thing or a situation that you haven't been addressing purposely, you might be very tempted to address it. Like that's kind of what I'm picking up here, or someone else might be. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadows. So far, I feel neutral slash good about the energy we have this week, my friends. But position number one, Queen of Wands, Six of Cups, softer, a little more emotional, soft around the edges type of energy. It's very reminiscent, thinking about the past. So you might be taking some trips down memory lane. There could be a potential for a lot of things to pop up or pop back up in this time too. But I think it's pretty good. And as I've been saying, it's like all this stuff trying to get your attention. So watch how you're not like burning your candle from both ends, so to speak. It's like, hey, Aries, look at me. Hey, no, look at me. Hey, look at me. In the center, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the King of Cups in reverse. Important or serious talk, pretty simple, straightforward. But there could be multiple. I don't know like why all this energy wants your attention, but it is showing up that way. So if you're wanting to meet people, this could be a great time to do it because it's like all this energy wants your attention. On the back end, we have the devil with the Ace of Cups. So again, beautiful, offers opportunities in the work, money, financial aspects of life. Loving it. But there is this propensity to bite the tongue, hold something back, or suppress. So try your best not to do that. But yeah, please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. Okay, cool. So the devil shows up again. Yeah, if you're connected to Capricorn, they're showing up here in spades, my friends. Devil in the shadows, devil right here. Again, I'm not like freaking out about it. I'm not really concerned. But again, what do we know about the shadow side of this card? We already spoke about all the good that can come from it. The big shadow side with the devil is the lingering energy. So when we in the main spread, we're getting this energy that's reminiscent from the past. Now we have the devil. There's like this energy that seems to be sticking around and it seems to be lingering. In this time, watch out for temptations because that's another thing the devil could represent, especially in its shadow side. There's certain things you've been refraining from. There's certain habits you've been refraining from. The devil just wants to feel good sometimes. So just know there could be this like seeking for pleasure type of energy when this card is here. So especially if you were refraining from a behavior, a thing, a situation, this devil is something to watch out for in this time, right? Either that or it's lingering. So we're just going to put him down right there, Aries. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The August calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the August subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 winners at random to either choose the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which is an absolutely stunning deck, or one of the custom made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in your reading today, which one intrigued you the most? Which one caught your attention and why? And you put that in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab / post tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.